and I just fell in love with a gangster. So I hold him down like an anchor. Said if I keep it 100, he keep me safe like a banker. Morning baddies. You are getting my morning face. No makeup. Fresh out the bed. Reporting live to you from my Jeep. I'm getting ready to go on a little walk, so I might take y'all out there with me for a little bit. But I woke up with it on my heart to talk a bit about the intersection between self-care, productivity, and soft life. So these are like 3 buzzwords that fly around a lot, and I think they're all very important. I'm not here to bash any of them. I think they're all extremely important concepts. I think sometimes we see them as siloed though, and I think that they all connect very closely. So when we think about soft life, we don't think a lot about productivity. When we think about self-care, we don't think a lot about productivity. When we think about productivity, we don't think about self-care. And I think all 3, if we can find a way to find that balance between the 3, that's really where the juice is. That is the winner circle, is that in between, that middle ground, that middle point between the 3 of those things. And I'm not saying this to say that I have completely conquered this, but I say this to say that is always where I'm looking to be. That's always where I'm trying to be. That's where I'm trying to land every single time. So let's get into it. So let's start by running down these definitions, and I'm going to put these in my own words. You may have a different definition, that's fine. Self-care is anytime you're caring for yourself. And so in my opinion, self-care is anytime when I'm looking out for my future self. So if I'm getting myself a massage and I know that's going to make me calmer, that's self-care. If I am taking a nap on my lunch break because I know that my body is tired, my mind is tired, that's self-care. If I am washing my dishes before bed so I wake up with a clean kitchen, that is self-care. Productivity. Productivity is getting something done that counts for something. And I say that counts for something because a lot of times we get caught up in busyness. So just like, oh, I'm just gonna like do something, but it's like, is it counting for the amount of time you're putting in? So for instance, I like to automate and delegate a lot of things so that my time that I'm using towards things is actually productive and not just filled with stuff, if that makes sense. So for instance, hot take, I hate going to the grocery store. I like cooking. I like having food in my house. I don't like going to the grocery store, so I don't. I have a grocery shopping membership. I use it all the time. It's absolutely worth every dime that I spend on. It's like $100 a year. Completely worth it, because that's not a productive use of my time personally, because I don't enjoy doing it. I don't find value in it, so I don't do it. I'm not saying nobody should grocery shop. If you find your peace there, if you find value in it, I love that for you. I personally don't. So I can use that time writing something. I can use that time working on my dissertation. I can use that time cleaning up my home. I can use that time being productive in ways that make sense for me. So that's how I see productivity. Getting things done and your output and input making sense. So how much time you're putting out and what you're getting out of it is making sense. And soft life. So I think soft life is a more recent trend, and it's being able to live a life of comfort and ease and convenience. That's what it means to me. It may mean something different to everybody else. And I think what's important to know is that these 3 things really go hand in hand. So if you find a way to look out for your future self, so you do some self-care, that can be part of your soft life, of course. But if you're doing that, so you're doing self-care, you are taking care of yourself, taking care of your future self, and you're also being productive, so you're getting things done, you open up so much space to live a softer life. And every day is not going to be a soft life day, but you can find a moment of soft life in every day, especially if you're being productive and doing your self-care. And so I think that combining these three things and finding a way to say, okay, here's how I'm going to be productive today. And mind you, even rest, like your soft life tasks, are productive as long as you are getting done the things that need to be done as well. So finding that balance between, I'm going to take care of my future self, so I'm going to make sure my home is clean. I'm going to make sure my physical body is taken care of. I'm going to make sure I do my skincare. I'm looking out for tomorrow. I'm looking out for Brandy tomorrow. I'm also being productive, so I'm spending my hours wisely. Then at the end of the day, I have some soft life time. I have some time to, go get in the swimming pool. I have some time to, lay out in the sun and just let the sun soak into my skin with my sunscreen on, of course, because I have space to create ease in my life. And so I just really think that if we can find a way to infuse productivity and self-care into our lives, we automatically will create the space for the soft life that we are yearning for and desiring. I think a lot of times people think to have a soft life, you have to give up productivity, or to be productive, you can't have a soft life. Why don't we have all of them? Why don't we have self-care, a whole bunch of productivity, and a whole bunch of soft life every day, every week, every month, every year? What you think? Let me know in the comments. I may also take you guys on a little bit of my morning walk before I close out. And this is part of my productivity because I am getting some exercise in. This is part of my soft life because it just feels so amazing to be out in nature early in the morning, getting fresh air. And that's also part of my self-care. And so I'm looking out for my future self by getting this done early. I'm looking out for my future self by always keeping my cardiovascular health up, by continuing to stay mobile and moving so that my body responds well and my body feels cared for. So let me know in the comments how you find space for self-care, productivity, and soft life. All right, love you guys.